Hello everyone. How y'all doing today? Is the thumbnail on, by the way? Can we get a quick check, lads? I'm sure it's on. But not too sure. Yeah, I think it's on, I can see. Cheers, lads. How are you all doing? Hello, Vaseline Cock. Hello, Haydam. Hello, OT. Oh no, Liam's not OT. I'm waffling. I'm not sure. Hello, Liam. How are you all doing today? We've got 4 man, 14 grid. We'll actually be starting soon. Oh shit. Oh, I've already swore! Right, that one doesn't count. Hello, Noffle. How are you today? Alright, we're almost ready to get going as well. On time! It's amazing. Not this in a while. So, round 3. I'm alone in the booth again today. JD's on track. It's going to be an interesting one. We've been here before, a lot of them. Who raced round 1? We've got Phil. He's filling in today. Phil, he's raced before. Right, so Phil, Casey's going to be happy. Casey almost got a podium last time we was here. He's going to be happy that Dino's not here. Phil, of course, filling in for Dino. If you remember last season, Casey lost the podium on the last lap because of Dino's last lap overtake. We almost had that yesterday in Division 2, but it didn't quite come to fruition, if I can English properly. So Casey, JD won last time out here. Phil's raced here. JD and Tim. So we've got 5 people that have raced here before. Brian, he's actually not raced here, but he's been here a while. You'd expect him to. But no, OTBC, he hasn't. Let's make sure everyone's ready and we'll be able to get go. Chat, what's your predictions for today? I don't know who to put anywhere, in all honesty. If I was going to put one person on pole, I don't think Ruben's gonna have pole here. Tim's not ready. Freeman's okay. Let's actually have a look. Devil, yeah, a 157.7. That's mightily quick. To put things into context here, Tim's actually doing a low fuel run. Got a fly in my face. Go away. Right. The GT3 lap record around here, I believe, is a 2 minute somewhere. So we're well beating that in Gran Turismo. Tim, he finished 5th last time we was there. Tim actually had a solid performance. He went quite under the radar in that race. He kept himself out of trouble. Tim doing Tim things, keeps himself out of trouble, scored solid points. Mr. Osaka, I've heard he's been mightily not mightily quick, but he's got some pace in that Motorsport West car. Ento. SVV, I mean, Ento's beating Ruben right now. And Ento didn't have the best of performances. Overshadowed by his teammate, but Ruben overshadows practically everyone. There's a Estonian doing some donuts, KML Brian. Out of all of the people in the world you'd expect to be doing donuts, Brian is up on your list. Phil, the only time he's come close to scoring points last season was here at Suzuka. He's filling in for Dino Rod, so he's hoping that he can score some solid points for the ART team. Maybe he can get his first Division 1 points. Remember, Fuji got his first Division 2 points. Excuse me, my throat is all clogged up. Lee Duncan, he's also making a GTEL debut. BNR hoping to have a solid, hoping to have a good day out today. Let's look at the championship standings for you lot. Is everyone ready? I'm going to make sure Vaslin Cox's ready. So then, the driver standings for Division 1. They are of course led by Ruben. Ruben has a 6-point lead to Devil. And then with 18 points is JD. Santos in 4th on 16. Santos's penalty last week dropped him down to 5th. Speaking of the Devil, Santos is unreadied. Okay, right. Once Santos is ready, we'll be able to get going. Further down the order of the Div 1 standings, Brian, he's 7th, Dino Rod 6, he's absent. So Brian, if he can score some solid points, he can find himself moving up the order. So, nothing wrong. Casey's yet to score as well. That's someone who's gonna need some improvements. Casey, he's done some substitute races as well, he's filled in, and he's not yet scored points, so that's going to be going for him. The team standings though. SVV have a 3-point lead to Sant Dime Racing. 37 points for SVV, and then 34 points for the Sant Dime Racing. NDC on 29 points as well, so the battle in the team standings is actually quite a close one. It can shift either way. Devil, if Vaslin Cox can have a good race, then we could be in for a good one. Everyone out of the pit lane okay. Ruben doing his normal waiting thing, but out first, then Devil, he's going to want some clean air. Took pole here last time, was at Suzuka. And one of the Motorsport West boys off in the background there. I think that's Mr. Osaka until he's still in the pits, but we'll soon get everything filled up. JD, a nice special Japan livery. As they run up the S's, everyone just battling for position. It's not quite Devil at the front, just trying to see who leads out. I'm guessing it's Brian. No, it's Phil. No. Surely it's Brian. No, if it will actually show properly. Brian, of course it's Brian. When it actually bothers to load, of course it's Brian leading out. Brian does Brian things. Brian's normally the first one out. He's also on medium, so Brian out first. That's probably why he's so eager to get out, because he's going to be pitting and then going on to the going on to the soft. So he's going to be starting on the mediums. Be interesting to see what strategy he can do. Mr. Osaka, I mean, with a track like this, I'd expect people, it's a very BNR thing to start on the mediums. It's not one of those tracks where I'd say starting on the mediums is viable, especially going on VS's through and turn 1 up VS's and stuff. You definitely need the softer rubber, or you will get swamped at turn 1. Tim, he's also going to be in early. Casey, his qualifying isn't the problem, his race pace. Casey, in his GTEL career, he's never missed a race, and he's done some extras. He's done a Div 2 race as well, so he's probably the most experienced driver on this grid, never missed a race, and he's actually filled in. So the guy that's done the most races on this grid is probably this man here. And he's never actually gained positions from his qualifying position. He's always either finished where he qualified or gone backwards. So that's going to have to be something that the Brit has to sort out there. Lee Duncan on his GTL debut, hoping he can make a statement in the 007 Aston Martin car. That's a very nice number for a very nice car as he runs down towards turn 1 for his BNR debut. There's a few cars in the pits getting their softs on. Phil did not have a very good time yesterday in Division 2. He's going to hope he can have a better one. There's OTBC as well. He's not scored yet either, I don't believe. Let me just check. Can-Am only actually have 1 point to their name in Division 1, so they're really going to have to step up. They'd really be liking Juice Wrong to be in S. Tim got 1 point on in Bathurst, OTBC yet to score. And speaking of Tim, there's the Can-Am boys. They're having a bit of squabble. Mr. Osaka, though, through Degner 1. That's actually a very nice line he takes through bed, pushing the track limits nicely. Power on early in that Aston Martin DBR9. Runs on the run up towards the Dunlop hairpin, then nailing his breaking point when Mr. Osaka had a very nice time out in Fuji, was it? He can have a good... He's got some pace when he wants to be, but the Motorsport West boys are either extremely quick or extremely slow. There's never really a middle ground with them, so they're either... When it's a track they like, they seem to be really quick, and when it's a track they don't like, not so quick. But we're enjoying the time out in Japan. Next week we are at Maggiore. Join us 8 PM British Summer Time, right here, for round 4 of the GTEL Division 3 Championship live at Maggiore. What's gone on with... Oh, he's unreadied, hasn't he? Why do people do that? So that's something we'll fix at the end. Mr. Osaka first to cross the line. Devil, we go second. So Devil then, a 1:57.8 is the provisional pole time. Mr. Osaka a second back. Santos, he's next across the line and goes 5th with a 2-minute .3. Phil, where's he going to come in? So he's slow lap, I think it's going to put him at the back. No offence, Phil, yeah it does. Online Croy, so he's had a 2-minute 12, so he's had some problems somewhere along his lap. Who's next? I think that's one of the Can-Am cars. They're going to get going on their first flying lap. So JM Devil then, the provisional poleman. Ento, it's a German 1, 2, 3. Devil, Ento, and Mr. Osaka. Where's Ruben? Here's someone you have to be worrying for through the Casio triangle. It's looking like it's a quick lap, and into the pits goes the driver from Panama. So, is he just going to burn fuel? If he makes a mistake, he may only actually end up having 1 lap to do. So if he makes a mistake, his qualifying could actually be over before it's even started. Devil through Spoon, it's a very nice line through there. Hayden, tell Vaseline Cock will sort it. I don't know how you can do that. You know, like, you have to press the button. You press the button, then it says, do you want to confirm cancel entry? Why do you do it? I don't know. Like, come on. We're gonna start not letting people race if they make that mistakes. It's so easy not to do it. If you press the button once, that's understandable, and you have to press it twice, and you have to confirm. Hello, Marcus. Devil then into the pits. He's going to take some fresh rubber. Casey in 4th currently. He also goes into the pits, so these guys are going to be taking some fresh rubber. They'll be out just in time. Mr. Osaka, he improves, closes the gap. A 1:58.4, I'd say, solid lap from him. Santos through the Casio triangle then. Very wide line for there. I don't know why. Lee Duncan improves by 2-minute 3. Cross the line, he improves. Holds his position though. Tim, he improves into a 3rd. That's a brilliant lap there by the Canadian. Online Kreutzer, he goes 5th. Tim then splits the Germans. The Canadians making peace with each other. Cam O'Brien, he goes 9th with a 2-minute .8 then. Santos, he's running up the hill further back. Who's next? Ruben's yet to do a lap. Ruben, he's coming through Spoon. He's going quite slowly. Ruben is just burning fuel here. OTBC is coming towards the Casio triangle. He's yet to set a lap yet. Round the final turn, going to keep it as tight as possible through the right-hander across the lines. Quick by the brake, he goes 3rd. OTBC yet to score points. Provisionally goes 3rd. So, Can-Am so far having a brilliant qualifying. SVV Ruben then coming through 130 yard down towards the Casio Triangle, right on board with him. So through the Casio Triangle then, puts his foot down, here's the lap then. Is it going to be pole? He's looking like he may have one more lap, but if he burns these tyres out, if he makes a mistake, his qualifying can be done. It's rare we see a mistake from Ruben though. As we ride on board down towards turn 1, 6th. Braking around about the 50 board. Quick brake downshift, 2 downshifts, and then you slowly bring the car in. He's drifting a bit there, that Mazda. That Mitsubishi, sorry, very low on grip, even on the soft tyres. Does seem to be struggling, but slight lift off, tap of the brakes, bit of a downshift as he comes up the hill then towards turn 6. Starts to dip back downhill before it rises up again towards Dunlop. Lee, he improves with a 2-minute 2. Bell put himself securely in the points. As he runs through the Dunlop curve and down towards Degnor and keeping as tight as possible. Bit of a pressure kicking him out, but he holds back for a second apex. 2 downshifts then, down into 4th through Degnor 1, through Degnor 2. Keeps it in 3rd, that's quite ballsy, but he gives up good reds on exit and he goes purple. He's 1/10 up after the end of sector 2, down towards the Dunlop hairpin then. Slow downshift, brings the car in nicely, gets the power on, a bit twitchy on exit, but he holds it together nicely. It's not really going to impact it much. Sanson to the pits, so that's his qualifying done as he runs up towards Spoon then. Wants to keep it as tight as possible. He's got so much confidence, so much grip in that car. Up towards then, breaking about the 50-meter board. Down to 3rd, gets the power on nicely. Doesn't run it onto the curb that much, doesn't really want to risk a spin, but gets the power on nicely through the 2nd apex of Spoon. Down towards 130 yard. OTBC at 158.4. He improves. It's a very tight line past the West Circuit pit lane. Down towards 130 yard then. Does he lift? He's still purple. Slight hint on the brakes. Slight lift down towards the Casio Triangle then. He's purple, but not by much. Deep into the turn there. He holds it together though. Swings it in. Not going to cost him much, but does it cost him the pole lap then? Down towards the line, Ruben, is it going to be pole? No, it's 2nd for Ruben. He does have one more lap in him though, but will his tyres hold up? JMW, he's coming through Spoon. It's a nice lap by Ruben, but is it good enough? We don't know. He sends OTBC down to 4th though, and Tim down to 5th. Mr. Osaka, he's holding in 3rd quite nicely. Also will be his best qualifying yet. Devil, he's currently gone purple then. Down towards the Casio Triangle, he's 3/10 up. Just needs a steady lap then, and it will be... I can almost guarantee it will be pole. Tim improves, but he doesn't move up any positions. Keeping it tight to the line then. What's it going to be for JM Devil across the line? It's a 1:57.5. He holds on nicely. Mr. Osaka's already done. Casey, he moves up into 8th, and look how close the grid is with these times. All sub 2 minutes. Terrible Tim, he's got his lap done. Mr. Osaka, he's got it done. Ruben, he's coming around the final turn. Phil, he improves with a 2-minute 2.5. Where does that put him? Down in 12th. So Lee Duncan down in 13th. And it will be Vaseline Cock to start at the back then. SV Ruben though, he's the last person on track. Is it going to be pole or is it going to be 2nd? He's got to find 3 attempts. Coming towards the final split point before the line then, just before 130 yard. What's it going to be across the line? He's down He's down by 1800%. He's got the Casio Triangle left. This is where he made his mistake last time, but is he going to find 2 tenths in here though? To improve his time, he's got to find 5 tenths just through the Casio Triangle, then round the final turn. I don't think it's going to be pole for the 2nd time. For the 1st time this season then, Devil is on pole at Suzuka. Ruben, 2nd row of the grid. Devil, Ruben, Osaka, OTBC. So, it's pole for Devil. Gonna have some technical difficulties to get Vaseline Cock back in the lobby. Santos down in 10th, Brian down in 11th. That's a really bad qualifying from them. Phil's in 12th, Lee in 14th. So then, if you can hear me, back to the lobby. Sorry for the wait. When everyone gets a chance, there is going to be a reset. So also got some technical difficulties apparently. Someone can't see. I'm told that Ruben isn't in Online Kreuzer's game. So that will be sorted out. As there's a mess at turn 1. Sorry for the difficulties. So we'll get everyone to ready up, then we'll sort it out. Sorry for the delays, people. So Devil on pole though. I do believe Ruben just about took pole at bat first. So Devil, 2 points. That's 2 points Ruben won't be getting. And if Ruben can win the race, but if Devil gets fastest lap, the gap will stay the same. So that'll be fine by them. So let's quickly change the grid order because we can do that. So Devil on pole for the first time this season, then. Online Kreuzer's just going to sort his game out. I have the quali list. Mr. Osaka, can we talk about that lap from him though? Puts himself onto 3rd. OTBC, he's 4th as well. That's an impressive lap by him. Terrible Tim, he's 5th. So brilliant qualifying by the Can-Am boys. Ento, he's 6th. Online Kreuzer will be 7th. JD. Then Casey just outside the points, and now it's showing how close it is between everyone. You can have a good lap. A 159 is no slouch lap, but Casey's down in 9th after setting a 159. That's how close it is. Really don't know what Santos is doing. Hello everyone, hello Dino. We need Santos to ready up, but I don't know what he's doing. Can anyone find out why Santos isn't readying up for me, lads? Online Kreuzer splits JD and Ento. Casey, Santos, Brian, Phil. He's not last. Phil will actually be happy with that, I'm sure. Vaseline Cock down at the back of the grid. He's got a long way to make up. Turn 1's going to be messed. Turn 1's been clean so far. We've not had any problems at turn 1. Santos will go behind Casey. There we go. Let's make sure everyone's ready. Sorry for the delays, people. Technical difficulties and the idiocies of drivers. Can't be helped. But we are almost ready to go racing then here at Suzuka for round 3 of the GTEL Division 1 Championship. Everyone ready up? Race start then. JM Devil on pole for the first time this season. Can Devil beat out Ruben for the first time this season and close the gap to him at the front? Round 3 then of the GTEL Division 1 Championship live at Suzuka. JD has left, apparently. Well, we can't go back now. But Devil on pole then. Ruben beaten in quali for the first time this season then. One light, two light, three lights, four lights, five lights are on then. And we are racing in Suzuka. Oh. No, we're not racing. It's bogged. I apologise for the delays. We've got to try again. This is why, right, you don't clown about. I don't like, it's qualifying, you want to go to race. This is the go to track button. Alright, here's what happens. If you enter, let me quickly demonstrate. No, never mind. But either way, when it's in a session, how do you want ready? Come on, get the right button, don't waste our time. Please. It's so annoying, right. Third time's the charm. Apologise for delays and Vaseline Cock, I hope you know you'll get a penalty for being a retard. Oh, do apologise. Welcome to the world of esports, where it will never go right. I do apologise for the delays. We'll have the race going at some point. Sooner rather than later would be nice, but we will be racing at some point. Enough honk, you're enjoying painting your nails there, mate. Let's get the lobby code in for Discord. Do apologise for the delays. Our third restart. The first time was a driver error. When it's a driver error, we normally give them a bent. We normally we'll do a restart for one driver error. If you make a driver error again, nah, not allowed to race. Cheers for that, Phil. Welcome to GTS, yes, Gran Turismo, the game that never really wants to work. Just waiting on one person, I think it's Phil, yes, we're just waiting on Phil. This is the best game ever, I can't lie. So then, Devil on pole. I told you I didn't think it would be Ruben on pole. Don't know why, I had this gut instinct, this feeling that he just wouldn't be on pole. Devil's quick around Suzuka. He likes to pretend he doesn't like Suzuka. Devil is quick around Suzuka, and it's Mr. Osaka, so I'm struggling to find him because he's one of the Germans, mixed in with the Germans. OTBC's best qualifying yet. He's had a number of P2s in Division 2, but this is P4 in Div 1. What's longer than a in GTEL practice? No, this isn't a practice lobby, this is the real lobby. Who goes next? So Devil, who's after Tim Ento? So good qualifying by Ento. He didn't have the best of qualifyings last time out. I think he ended up coming home 6th or 7th. It's a solid for your debut. Just need Phil to ready up and we'll be able to Phil's trying out the Mazda. Phil has a different car in everyone. Inspired by the Japanese, made by the Chinese. Indeed. Third time's a charm, then. Chat, who's your predictions for the whole shot? Who's going to have the lead going into turn 1, then? Who is going to have the lead into turn 1? Devil starts. Oh, going off of starts. Oh, I'm not too sure. I've not seen much of OTBC starts because he's at the back. Casey's gonna be on some real pressure. He's never really the best at his starts. His starts do seem to lack. Let's try again, then. Third time's a charm here at GTEL. Round 3 of the GTEL Division 1 Championship live at Suzuka then. JM Devil on pole for the first time this season. He beats out Ruben, his championship rival. Mr. Osaka's best qualifying of the season, and OTBC as well. Both lock out row 2. Can-Am, they're going to be happy with a 5th place as well for Terrible Tim. On board with Ruben then at the start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights are on then. And we are racing at Suzuka. It's a brilliant start there by Mr. Osaka. I must say, as he goes down towards, he goes to the right hand side as he challenges Devil into turn 1. OTBC's not the best of starts. He's fallen down. Ento as well has got himself into 4th. Round outside, Mr. Osaka tries to go. Ruben leads into turn 1 then. There's some chaos off into the background. OTBC Online Cruise has gone up into 6th. Tim's at a terrible start. He's fallen down to 7th. KC, is he involved in a turn 1 accident? I think he might be. Let's have a replay of what happened there then. Quickly, what happened with Casey down towards turn 1. Let's have a look. The purple car you see in the middle of the pack, full of the white cars. Just a bit deep, he gets on the gravel and, oh, that's a bit... So he's down in 13th then. Down towards Degner 1 then for the first time this race at the top of the hill. Ruben leads from Devil and Mr. Osaka as they come through towards Degner 2. Ento, he's up into 4th. It's a good start then by the SVB boys. OTBC's got down a place. Online Cruiser holds position. JD in 8th. Came O'Brien, that's Phil off into the background at Degner 2. He's very touchy at the score, almost replicating what happened with JD last season at Degner 2. Down the inside, Vaseline Cockvein tries to go with Came O'Brien at the Dunlop hairpin. He dispatches him quite nicely. Mr. Osaka trying to get involved then with Devil. Ento trying to join into the back as well, but can't squabble too much because they'll all find themselves losing out to Ruben. Ruben will pull away. Ruben has the pace then as they come through Spoon for the first of around about 27 times this race. Further back, Online Kreutzer 6th. Vaseline Cox now got himself up to 9th after starting down in last after he didn't get a quali lap in. Lee Duncan up to 11th from 13th. And Phil, where's Phil? Is Phil in 14th? Phil is in 14th, so yeah, he got caught up in at Degner. Down towards the Casio Triangle for the first time, but OTBC is looking for a move on Ento round the outside. The free wide prematurely as Mr. Osaka a bit backed up as in 3rd. So then, OTBC gets himself back up to 4th at the end of lap 1. Online Kreutzer as well down in 6th. He might be able to help out OTBC, but the Germans then. 4 Germans in the top 5. Ruben, he leads at the end of lap 1 then, followed by Devil down towards turn 1. OTBC eyeing up a move on Ento. Ento gets him down the straight. Online Kreutzer almost had him there as well. Further back, Timmy's on the pressure from JD. And Came O'Brien, he's in no man's land there down at 10th. Up the hill they go then for the second time this race. Devil trying to close down half seconds to Ruben. OTBC is going to have a nice little battle with Ento there. Up the hill we go then. Through turn 7, through the Dunlop curve, up towards Degner 1. Vaseline Cock hoping that the squabbling ahead can allow him to catch up to the back of this little struggle of cars, and maybe for the first stint, maybe for the entire race. OTBC misses the apex there, opens the door for Ento. Ento pulls to the right hand side, then up towards the Dunlop hairpin, has to duck back into the slipstream mode, just doesn't have that power in the Mercedes. Online Kreuzer gets very close to the back of his German comrade of Ento. Bit twitchy, gets the power on really early in that DBR9. Round the outside he tries to go. Online Kreuzer won't have the power if he tucks back into the slipstream mode. Maybe it's Spoon further back there. JD's eyeing up a move on Terrible Tim. Down towards Spoon then. Ento down the inside of OTBC, tries OTBC though, holds back into fourth. JD's got the move done onto Tim, who started fifth. Tim's had a terrible start, he's fallen right down the order. As we race on, came up Brian Santos, he's gone down 11th. As Casey tries to make it off the grid after having a nice qualifying. Or not necessarily nice, it was 9th, and it is a mistake at turn 1 where he's probably going to think he would contact, but he didn't. The pro sticker on the back there of Santos's car, not living up to expectations right now. Half second is the gap at the end, or as we approach the end of lap 2 through the Casio Triangle. Ruben leads then from JM Devil and Mr. Osaka, both, and OTBC, both having a really good drive. Ento as well, looking for his best performance so far. JD, he's in 7th. Look, there's a massive slipstream train all the way down from 1st. You can see that's came up Brian at the back corner. It's Ento eyeing up a move onto OTBC inside of turn 1. Bit of contact, very bump, nudges his rear wheel. But Ento has that move nicely done. OTBC just going to have to sit back in the battle for 4th there, really heating up. But the more they battle, the more they're going to allow Mr. Osaka to pull away. Ruben and Devlin, what's the strategy going to be? Ruben's normally the one who's happy to let Devil lead and burn up his fuel, but we know Ruben's fuel saving skills are also implicable. They're superb. The South American, absolutely insane. But Devil, if he can stick to the back, then we can get a bit of fuel saving done. Last season his fuel management wasn't the best, and he's hoping he can improve on that. We're on to the back of Online Kreuzer now. He's hoping to repent from his disaster at Suzuka last season, where it looked like he was going to chase down Devil and take the win off of him within the last 20 minutes, but then he had a date with Barrier. Up towards Spoon. Devil is close enough. I think he may be able to go for a move down towards Spoon, but will he? That's the question. He's just going to be tucked nicely into the back. Doesn't want to risk a move so early on as well. We're only 5 minutes into the race. If you get a bit of damage, I can send you right to the back, and it will be quite hopeless to gain. If you also get some damage in the pits as well, you're losing a good 30 seconds and your race is pretty much over then. Up towards 130R. I've not seen any insane side-by-side 130R overtakes yet. JD though, on to the back of his German comrade and his good friend Online Kreuzer. He pulls out to the left-hand side of the slipstream. Can't quite get it done though into 130R. Just doesn't have the straight line speed compared to the Aston Martin DBR9 as they come through the Casio Triangle. Timbo, he has eyeing up and move. He caused a bit of chaos last week at Fuji, Timbo. He's going to try and repair that. OTBC's gone down to 5th, so has he had a mistake somewhere? He's fallen right off the back of Ento. Tugged into the slipstream then. Online Kreuzer, who's going to have a nice pull from that Nissan. Big bulky boy, that Nissan GT. Online Kreuzer to the right hand side then, inside line to turn 1. OT tried to defend around the outside, is going to have it done nice. It's a brilliant line there by the Brit. As JD then right close, right to the back of Online Kreuzer as they run up the hill. Same with Ruben and Devil. And they're not really going for a move. It's almost like Ruben's holding the pack up. Maybe he's inviting everyone to catch up. Ruben allowing Mr. Osaka to also be in this group, and maybe Ruben's trying to allow Ento to catch up, and maybe Ruben is trying to put up a bit here to let his SVV teammate catch up. Because that will increase their lead at the standings. For the first 2 races, the best team has probably been the Sant Dime Racing. That's JD and Santos, and today they are only one of them's in the points. JD will be taking home 2 points. Devil has the fastest lap, despite Ruben heading the field. So as it stands, they'll be taking 15 points home apiece, but we're only 7 minutes into this race, and it will change a lot. Mr. Osaka falling off the back a bit there from the leaders, but the top 4 separated by 1.5 seconds. It's rare we have this in a GTL race, and Devil glued to the back of Ruben's Mitsubishi. Doesn't want to do anything yet though. Devil now though pulls to the left hand side. He's going to take the lead quite comfortably. Did Ruben back off there? That was way too easy. Did you just have the power into the Casio triangle? Does Ruben now want Devil to lead a bit? Looking at the field, Ruben has a bit more in him anyway. But now, Ruben just sitting back. The compound of tyres, Devil, he's on the softs. Ruben's on the softs. Mr. Osaka's on the softs. Ento, soft. OTBC softs. Ento softs. Online Kreutzer softs. JD softs. And then Tim, he's the highest medium runner. That might explain why Tim lost out massively at the start there. As he's on the mediums, he eyes up and move on to JD and towards turn 1. Vaseline Cock, he's on the softs. Santos is on the softs. Casey's on the softs, he's got himself back up to 11. Brian, he's on the softs. Brian's on the mediums, and Lee, he's on the softs, and Phil, he's had massive problems. He's fallen right down the order. He's on the medium, so Phil's already done his first pit stop. So that's why Phil's 40 seconds off the back. Devil then leads at the start of lap 4 then, so Phil, he is the first person to use both sets of tyres. But pitting so early on, I think it's safe to say Phil's race isn't going to go too well for him, down in 14th. He may have had a solid run, but not too sure now. Mr. Osaka just about holding on to the slipstream Ranger. If he can keep up to the leaders, if anything actually happens to them, it's unlikely Devil and Ruben are so flawless. But if you can stick into the slipstream range, same with Ento, they could actually find themselves getting a lucky for. They can actually find themselves challenging for the win, even if they don't have the raw pace to do it. As they run down towards Spoon then, OTBC's fallen off the slipstream a bit there. If he could just have a solid lap, put his foot down and then catch up, that would be nice for the Brit. Online Kreutzer as well, he's only 5 seconds off the lead. And remember, 5 seconds is easy, it's so easy to make up in the pits. Mr. Osaka, his fuel compared to Devil's and Ruben's is quite low down. OTBC as well, he's got some solid fuel, so OTBC could actually find himself getting back up into 3rd here in the pit stops. The predicted strategy, the first stop pit window around about the 43-minute mark, ending at the 35-minute to go mark. But Mr. Osaka tucking to the right-hand side there, almost like he's going for hot laps, so he's losing out on the slipstream. He's not taking the normal racing line for, well, a race. Through turn 1. Lap 6 then, 10 minutes gone, 50 to go, or just under that. Devil leads from Ruben. OTBC now actually is the fastest lap. So OTBC is starting to put his foot down and try and catch up to the back of these guys. It'll be nice if OTBC can snuggle an extra point there. Online Kreutzer, solid points Motorsport West needed, more so to the Can-Am boys. OTBC currently with 5th with fastest lap, and Tim in 8th. Tim's getting his mediums off early though. I was doing his medium stint early, so when everyone else is on the mediums, he will actually be on his softs. So Tim, this could work out for the Canadian. He lost out big time at the start, and he can't quite keep on to the back of JD. If he can keep on to the back of JD, they'll be able to give him a nice tug along, a nice pull, but because JD's got the soft compound, he's pulling away, he just can't fall back. He can't let Vaseline Cock reel him in though. So Tim has to have a solid, nice pace on these mediums, can't get swallowed up by everyone. Vaseline Cock down in 9th, and Santos down in 10th, not the best for him. Casey, he's trying to regain the places he lost from. Restarted 9th and off at turn 1. No contact was actually in for error, he just outbraked himself into turn 1. Devil getting onto the Astro strip there on the exit of Spoon, and now everyone's back into the slipstream. Ruben, is he going to pull out and try and take the lead again? I don't think he will. Down towards 130 yard. Ruben just going to be a bit more conservative. He's following someone he can lift off there. Sparks kicking off. That is wonderful. It'd be beautiful if it was a night race. I'm sure if Mr. Osaka could actually get onto the back of Ruben, I'm sure he would actually. I think Mr. Osaka, he would love to be able to make a move onto Ruben. That is something you don't get to every day. I was able to pass Ruben. He's tucked right to the back of him. There is a chance as we ride on board with him. That DB9's got so much better speed. Look at that closing speed as Ruben also pulls out to block him. That's a bit. That's fair, but it's not necessarily respected as Mr. Osaka goes a bit deep into the turn. Going to come around for a late apex, and that's inviting Ento. Ruben, that's a late block there. I must say that might be a warning for him. But Mr. Osaka, you can see the closing speed down the straight with the slipstream and the power of that Aston Martin DBR9. It's just so much better, but now Mr. Osaka seems a bit shaken after what Ruben did. He's lost a bit of tyre as well after going deep and getting onto the dirty bits at turn 1. He is going to pull himself back, and he's only 3/10 off. And now, with top 5, 1.8 seconds, 1.7 seconds as OTBC gets himself through Degnorn and latches himself onto the back of Ento. Down towards turn 1, down towards the Dunlop hairpin, sorry, not turn 1. It would be an interesting turn 1. It's not a very long run they would have from Degner 2 up towards turn 1. Mr. Osaka takes a bit of a different line, tries to get the power on early. They have to be worried, and surely if Mr. Osaka actually gets us a chance down at turn 1, he's going to take it, try and help his German comrade, but I'm sure Ento will also be wanting to help his teammate more than his German comrade. OTBC is going to be in it for his own blood, I must say. OTBC's he's not really had a good season. He's had a very slow start to the season. There was potential from him. We saw in Div 2, he was the runner-up in Div 2. Didn't quite get the race win we expected him to get. We thought he would get one race win, but alas, it didn't quite happen. Actually, no, I think OTBC won the last round at Spa. I'm not sure. If someone can tell me, was it Juice or OTBC that won at Spa? I'm sure it was Juice. But anyway, down towards turn 1. Mr. Osaka not that close to the back of Ruben now, but Ruben very close to the back of Devon. You can see he's going full throttle, but is that Mitsubishi just struggling in a straight line, or is Ruben not giving it the full beans? Because it's really not revving highly, so Ruben is surely in a lot lower fuel mode, and he's saving a lot more being in the slipstream than Devil. Look, he's eating into his fuel. Mr. Osaka's going to go really early. Ento as well, he's burning up some fuel. But the two leaders have the most fuel than at the front. OTBC, he's so much better it seems. Through the hill he still holds fastest lap, but up through the S's he gains so much on Ento, than the second half of the lap he seems to fall off as the field's now is now starting to string out a bit of his top 5. JD's got, JD's battling for 7th. I don't think he really wants to go for a move yet on Online Kreuz, so he is a good mate. JD takes a lot more of the curve there than Online Kreuz. You see Tim in the background, Vassencock's now 9 seconds back, so he's seemingly pulling away from him, so he doesn't really have to worry there. Devil's matched his fastest lap 2 times in a row, so Mr. Consistent for German. The only person that's probably more consistent in this league than Devil is Ruben, but Devil looking to take his first win this season, close the gap. But Ruben right now sitting in the back of the slipstream, he is saving so much more fuel, so Devil, if he wants to try and go some, he's going to have to go for a very different strategy, I must say, and try and outplay the strategy man. And Devil, he got pole, which shows that he can have the pace if needed, but what does Ruben have in the tank? He didn't take pole by much, so there's not really much separating these two, and it will probably come down to the pit stops. And Devil can't let what happened, he can't do what happened at Bathurst, where he was leading so well, and just let one mistake completely throw it off contention. Down towards turn 1, Ruben. He pulls out to the right hand side, teases a move, but doesn't quite go for it, as I think they're now at the front starting to put their foot down a bit as Mr. Osaka, as his tyres are starting to go off as we reach the first pit window. He's falling off a bit, it seems. And same with Ento and that Mercedes. He's losing a bit of tyres compared to the guys at the front. Ruben's tyres are so much better than Devil's. Ruben may actually be looking to go for a one-stop here, as his softs are looking fine. They're looking only a few minutes old. But in actual fact, they're 17 minutes old, and fuel-wise, if he wants to go at the 30-minute mark, he's only just at the halfway stage now, and it's over halfway if he was going for a 30-minute stint. So Ruben would be fine to go for a one-stop here, and that might be why he's sticking into the back of Devil. So if Ruben is going for a one-stop, someone needs to tell Devil that he needs to start putting his foot down, burn the rest of his fuel up, and make sure Ruben has to burn a bit more fuel. Because if Ruben is fuel saving, if he wants to stick to the back of Devil, he's going to have to put his foot down a bit more, and I won't be able to fuel save as much. So someone needs to be telling Devil that, to get his foot down a bit and try and bridge a gap to Ruben. You get knock Ruben out of the slipstream range, that means Ruben can't fuel save as much, as he's not able to be pulled along. Further back, Ento is falling off the back of Mr. Osaka, and he's going to have to be worried about OTBC. OTBC in the pit, it's looking like he could maybe have a bit of a jump here. Maybe OTBC Being at the back goes for a bit of an undercut. Might be seeing some people coming round this time round as they come through the Casio Triangle. Watch for people that peel to the right hand side. Then Devil, is he going to go for the pits? I'm expecting someone in this lead group to go for a bit of an undercut. Does Devil go? No, Devil doesn't go. Mr. Osaka doesn't go. Ento doesn't go. OTBC, he takes a very wide line. Gets onto the dirty stuff there. Can't quite understand why he's doing that. He's getting a nice run. But he is losing time because he's getting onto the dirty stuff. Tim Benn, he's the first to go into the pits. For what you could say is a scheduled stop. As the Can-Am boys, they get ready to do their first stop of the race. But I was expecting someone, if OTBC or Ento, to go early and try and get an undercut onto someone. OTBC got the through third, fourth and fifth. He's got the most fuel, so he could gain a second and a half there by having less fuel to take. And then having the fresh rubber as well, but maybe they're just trying to make sure they get over that 20-minute mark. Make sure they're safe to the line. Ento is falling off a bit here. OTBC right onto the back as they come towards Degner 1. OTBC cuts the corner. That's probably going to be a half-second penalty. Yeah, quite definitive. Tim on his outlap, he goes to soft. So Tim also someone that's done both sets of tyres, so you can mark him off. He's the second person. As anyone else, Lee, he started on the softs. Casey, he's only just pitted, so Casey's someone, as well as he's barging wheels of Kane O'Brien as he comes through. Casey seemingly pitted quite early on. Brian's also got a bit of a penalty, so has Brian pitted as well? Let's see, Brian hasn't pitted. Santos has pitted, but he started on the softs, I believe. So 3 people then done. Both sets of tyres. Devil, he leads. Is Devil going to be in this lap? Is Devil going to try and take the fuel further? If I was Devil, stick to the standard 20 every 20 minutes and just take less fuel. Don't try and burn more fuel out as it gets onto the curbing there. On the exit of 130 are a bit shaky. Signs of his tyres may be fading off a bit there. Not as much grip as Mr. Osaka. He's fallen down to Ento's. Ento's now put his foot down and got through on the German. Anyone to the pits this lap then? No. Mr. OTBC increases penalty, gets another second added onto that through the Casio Triangle. It's so easy to get a penalty there. I have to be so cautious of the track limits though. Put the front though, as I accidentally hit the replay button. I do apologise. So Mr. Osaka can't get removed on an Ento. Mr. Osaka now he's red lighting it, so he's going to have to go into fuel saving mode a bit here as well. He does seemingly have pace, but in all 3 rounds so far, his fuel management is not the best. It seems like he's got to run in mode 1 most of the race to be able to keep up with everyone ahead. And that's how Ento's now got past, because he's out seemingly having to fuel save a bit. And I don't know why, if you red light at the start, you don't go for the move. Go into the pits. Go for a bit of an undercut as well. You don't have to pit with everyone else. Pitting before them, you don't have the slipstream, but you're going to have clean air and fresh tyres as OTBC stuck behind him now. It's a struggling German with his seemingly having to fuel save. He's struggling to get up into 5th on the run up to the Dunlop hairpin, so OTBC is going to have to really dispatch him soon. Hopefully on the run down to Spoon. OTBC's got a lot of fuel left in him. But now it's losing out big time to Ento. As you can see, the gap between them as they run up to Spoon is massive. The tyres as well, Mr. Osaka, he could risk, he's going to have to brake so much earlier. What's going on with Brian then? Let's have a look at this. It's down at turn 1. Him and Casey just gradually touches that green bit on the outside. Brian, well, that will be a penalty for Brian because rage quitting's not allowed. Down towards the Casio Triangle then for the 11th time this race. Devil leads from Ruben, and Ento now got himself into 3rd. Everyone past the pits, they continue. Ento, is he going to pit this lap? He's continuing on into the pits on Mr. Osaka. OTBC follows through, doesn't want to get undercutted there. OTBC's going to jump him a big chunk. Online Kreutzer as well, he's into the pits, but you see 15% more for OTBC. He's going to have a massive lead, but now Ento's got some clean air, doesn't have to worry about defending. He should really focus about putting his foot down and trying bridging a gap to these lot, because the undercut can be quite effective. In comes Online Kreutzer, Mr. Osaka. So double stacked pit stop for the MSW boys, but they've got different garages obviously. Vaseline Koch, he's also into the pits. Who's out first though? Mr. Osaka's actually out first, only just by OTBC. I think OTBC probably fully fueled it compared to OTBC. OTBC fully fueled, I mean, Mr. Osaka didn't. He underfueled a tiny bit. So that's probably how it's got the jump. Yeah, OTBC fully fueled it, and he comes out behind Tim. Online Kreutzer, he's onto the medium, so you can mark him off of using both sets of tyres. So, Online Kreutzer, done. Oh, Mr. Osaka, done. OTBC. OTBC went on to soft, so OTBC's not used both sets of tyres. Up at the front row, down towards Spoon. Devil's tyres now really falling off, and is Devil maybe also going for a one-stop here? Ruben's looking like he might be able to. Ruben's definitely got over 5 minutes of fuel. He's and stuck in the back of Devil. It's very easy. Maybe Devil, if he's going for a one-stop as well, he just puts his foot down. Or maybe he just puts his foot on the brake quickly, lets Ruben through. Maybe he goes to the far right-hand side. Maybe invites Ruben through. I don't think Ruben will. Enter into the pits then. Trying to block off the undercut. He's no longer in the battle for the lead, but battle for the final podium. Has to block the undercut. Mr. Osaka beat out OTBC. It's going to be a close one between them. I think Ento may just come out ahead. As they run up the hill, you're looking at Ruben's fuel. He's so much better on fuel than Devil. JD's now got himself into third. JD's pit strategies normally quite helpful. He can normally move up a few amount of places with his pit strategy. He's got a brain almost as big as Ruben's when it comes to it. Is everyone now getting past Ento? Where's Ento going to come out? If it will show. He comes up and he's gone on to mediums. Where's everyone else though behind? They're coming down towards turn one now. Tim's going to have to worry. And Tim's jumped Ento as well. Tim's not pitted yet, but Tim, he's now got past his team at OTBC. Why is Tim going for a move? Tim has pitted actually. So Tim's got himself into net third. So Tim has pitted. And on paper, he's now got himself into fifth. So Ento, has he come out on mediums? He has. So Ento, he's someone. Ento's lost out big time there. But the biggest gainer, I must say, Tim, he pitted ages ago. And has now got himself into fifth. But Ento, he's now down in seventh. That undercut pitting just a lap later. That shows how much pitting a lap later can do. That much damage. 4 minutes then until the 30-minute mark. Ruben's looking like he'll make it safely there. Devil, not so much. Maybe Devil pits this lap. Look at the tyre difference. Ruben's tyres are so much better managed than Devil's. Maybe Devil can probably go one more lap. But I think if Devil goes for an undercut, Ruben will follow through, because Ruben can definitely take his fuel to the end, but Devil is going to risk having to pit an extra lap here. It's going to be interesting. Does that go? They continue on, so Devil's definitely trying to drag out Ruben here. But Devil, this is the sort of thing which pains me to watch. Because Devil, he looks like he's learning, he'll sit in the back of Ruben, but then he'll go for the move. As yellow flags down at turn one, who's that's gone round? Let's see. As they come up to him, there'll be blue flags. That looked like Lee Duncan. It was Lee Duncan. Can we see what happened with him? Both B&R guys. Lee getting onto the green stuff again and just kicks it round. So easy to do there. Both B&R boys doing that. But the battle for the lead, Ruben now being held up by JD a bit here, but JD, by Devil. It pains me to watch this because Devil always seems to do this. Devil always seems to get a bit greedy. He knows what Ruben's going to try and do, and he'll just lead Ruben, and he gives Ruben this massive helping hand. And that could also risk a half-second penalty as Lee lets the two leaders through. But Devil, he's really pulling Ruben along. If you look at fuel difference here, Ruben can go on for another 5 minutes. Devil's got to go in this lap as he's red lighting it. But Devil, as soon as he gets a chance, he goes for the lead, and then he doesn't pull away. He takes the lead and then parks the bus, which is actually helping Ruben, because Ruben can just stick it in down the straights. And there's a lot of straightish sections here. Stick it down in six, short shift, save a lot of fuel. Not a bit, a lot of fuel. And Devil just seems to fall for the trick every time. If you're going to go for the pass early on, you've got to put your foot down and go for a different strategy. You don't want to take the lead if you're going to go for a one-stop. And you can see in his tyres as well. Look at Devil's tyres. He's really tried putting the foot down. Just doesn't have the pace. If you don't have the pace, then you're going to go for a different... If you don't have the pace, why go for the same strategy? And I'm sure Ruben may follow him into pits to block the undercut, because Ruben can jump him on fuel. And it's going to take a massive... He's going to take a heat load here now for Devil to try and win this, I must say. Into the pits. No! Ruben goes into the pits, so Devil, that is stupid. Devil's now going to have to stick it in a lot lower fuel mode, and Ruben's going to come out with the undercut compared to Devil's tyres. Ruben will come out with around about a 5-second lead here. He's had 18% fuel. That's more than what we've seen some people coming in at the 20-minute mark. As further back, the battle goes on down towards the Castillo Triangle. Then Tim, he's lost out to his teammate OTBC. So OTBC gets himself up into 5th. JD now goes into net 2nd. Ruben out, he comes onto the mediums. The gap to the leader, 30 seconds. Let's watch how that gap closes down. Going down towards turn 1, then Timmy eyes up and move. He's very close with his hustle from 4th down to 7th. As Tim... Now he's gone on to the softs, down the inside, a bit of a mistake there by Mr. Osaka. OTBC just has to stick in. There's almost a bit of contact down at turn 2. They hold on nicely though. Up the hill they go. Devil, why did Devil not go in this lap? Did Devil not think about going for an undercut there? Why doesn't Devil think about going for an undercut? Because surely you'd want to go for an undercut there. Because we've already seen an undercut. Ento would have been out of front of... Ento would have been leading these guys. But now, Ento is now at the back of this group. And he's even been jumped by Tim, who was down in 8th, but now has got himself up into 6th. It was 5th prematurely, with a brilliant strategy. Down towards Dunlop Hairpin, a bit of penalty being served there by OTBC. As the two Can-Am cars, Tim looks for a move onto his teammate. They both, a bit of oversteer there by OTBC, gets the power on too early. But that's kind of backed his team up. Panento down the inside, up towards Spoon. He's going to have that move safely done. Now he's going to have the slipstream, and he might be able to chase down OTBC as well. He peaks at a move, but he's just not quite close enough. Tim's going to try and fight that back as Devil's finally into the pits with 1% of fuel left. And he used 3% of fuel that lap. And Ruben, the gap, Ruben's lost a second. Ruben's actually lost time, gets onto the curb. JD also into the pit, so JD could actually find himself as well coming out in this group. Oh, just onto the back of them with fresh tyres as well. JD could be making some big gains here. He's nailed his fuel quite nicely. But Devil, where's he going to come out in? Ruben, he's coming down the pit straight. He's got past Devil. He's got past everyone in their pit box. As they might come up behind them as Devil. What's the gap going to be? I predicted 5 seconds. What's it going to be? Devil's now under threat from the guys behind Mr. Osaka. Devil's been swallowed up to the back, and I've told you, this is what the undercut can do. Devil finds himself exactly 5 seconds off the back. This is why you listen to Ninon. Devil then, he's got 5 seconds to make a point on the mediums, and he's really messed up his strategy there by trying to go a bit longer, because he would have had to stick it in 6th there. Using 3% of fuel on a track as big as Suzuka, he definitely wasted so much. He would have been in mode 6 at least once, which you don't want to be in mode 6 because that's so conservative. You really don't want to be saving that much time. And now he's got no slipstream either, and he's at risk of being swallowed up by the guys on the softs who are going for a 2-stop. JD, where's he come out? JD, is he latched onto the back here? No, he's 5 seconds off the back. So I told you he'd be 5 seconds off. He's 5 seconds off. That's why you listen to Ninon. If Devil had pitted that lap, he would have only been about 2 seconds off. But with that undercut by Ruben Ruben's outlap a 158. That's flying. He would have been able... the undercut would gain time. He had less fuel to take, so he gains time there. And Devil was also fuel saving, so Ruben gains time there. So Devil really shouldn't have gone that lap extra. He's gone over a lap younger tyres. He's not going to have to worry about his fuel going as long. But a minute is not much. He's going to have to hope his mediums can do something, and it's unlikely Ruben's going to make a mistake. Down towards the Casio triangle, Mr. Osaka leads this group. Tim's now got himself up into 4th, and Tim, if he can get a podium here. Tim's had 2 podiums in his GTEL career. One at Bathurst and one at Le Mans. Tucked right into the back of the German. Is he going to hold on for now? There's a bit of contact. There's Tim then down the inside at turn 1. Not quite close enough. Thinks better of it. There's a bit of contact at the back though. Tim will back off. No, he tries to go for the move down the inside, but Tim! Bit twitchy on exit. Mr. Osaka's on the inside line up towards turn 3, and it's going to be fighting all the way up the hill there. The Canadian's feet very deep, but Mr. Osaka touches the gravel briefly, and Ento's now going to be invited into this battle as Tim now got himself up into 3rd. Phil, is that Phil going wide? No, Phil's at the back. That gap's come down, but if Devil wants to close this gap, he's going to have to really put his foot down. And it's going to be interesting to see what sort of strategy Devil now goes for. So if he wants to catch him, he's going to have to put his foot down, which means he's going to have to burn a bit more fuel, waste his tyres a bit more, and he's not going to do as well. Which is a real shame, because what was looking like Devil could beat Ruben as he put it on pole. Devil's now being outdone by Ruben because Devil just couldn't get the strategy right, and it pains me to watch Devil fall for Ruben's tricks, which Ruben does the exact same thing every race near enough. And Devil still lets him sit behind him, and it's almost like he's got this confidence, like, I can drag him along, I'll drag him along, he can feel safe, I'll still beat him, and he's never beat him doing that. If he beat him, if Devil could beat Ruben whilst he did that, I would understand why Devil would be fine with it, but Devil seems so comfortable with coming second, with losing out to him every race. And so far, Ruben's undefeated. He's not lost a single race in this championship because he does the exact same thing every race, and well, it ends up like this. Devil 3/10 through that final sector. It's a good exit from the Casio triangle where Ruben as he pulls a bit of time. Tim though has put his foot down and bridging the gap, because remember, Tim got his mediums on early. So now Tim can really put his foot down. And now Tim could actually try and catch Devil, because Devil's on the mediums and Devil's got to be a bit conservative as well. As he's approaching Lee Duncan as he rises up the SS through turn 3. 2.6 seconds is a gap. Tim might be able to try and fight himself as there's 5 minutes before the next predicted pit window for the 2 stoppers. Ento right onto the back of Mr. Osaka now, both on their mediums, so their final stint on the softs will be a bit of a dogfight. They've got a lot of fuel though, so they could actually go a long way. Who's got the most fuel going into the final stop? Mr. Osaka's got a lot less fuel. Mr. Osaka, he's definitely going to be pitting within the 20 minutes, with around about 20 minutes. Bento can go a long way here. SVV with their fuel strategy is definitely on point. OTBC, has he had a mistake somewhere? Because OTBC's also yet to put his mediums on. He's fallen off the back here, and now him and Tim have seemingly switched places. It was looking like it's going to be a good result by OTBC, and now Tim's looking like he's going to have an absolute flyer. Getting his first podium of the season. It's been a slow start by Can-Am, but they'll be happy with solid points if they can get away from this. SVV as well, looking to score some solid points, and the 4 of the 5 teams, well, there's actually 7 teams. So which teams are scoring points? SVV, NDC, Can-Am, Motorsport West, and Santime. So ART and BNR both not scoring. If it finishes this way, who's in 9th? Santos is in 9th, so it won't really make a difference. Santime will still be scoring points, and Casey, he's down in 10th. He's having a mare. He's in this lap. As he can red light, he's really burnt out his fuel not very well. So he's going to have to be a bit conservative going into the final stint. Because if he runs out of fuel, that could spell disaster for him. Ruben up at the front end, 4 seconds is the gap, and Ruben Shaw just going to be a bit conservative. Invite Devil in. I can't really foresee Ruben spinning it, so Ruben's just going to be a bit cautious on the curves, whilst Devil's going to have to be pushing a bit more already on the tyres. You can see tyres have been burnt out a lot more. Ruben's putting his foot down all of a sudden. Ruben's fuel's not looking as good as Devil's. So Ruben's maybe trying to go for fastest lap or something. Maybe Ruben wants to bridge a gap. Maybe Ruben will come off these mediums quite soon. Ruben, maybe he's going for a 2-stop. Ruben's strategy is maybe he goes in really early and bridges a massive gap. It'll be interesting to see what actually happens. Tim's closing down the gap to Ruben. Devil's closing down the gap to Ruben. So close one down, look towards the Dunlop hairpin, and there's a bit of contact between Mr. Osaka and Ento. Down the inside then goes the Mercedes driver. Mr. Osaka going to just have to tuck into the back of him. OTBC had a look. It looked like he was going to have a good race, and he's falling right down the order then. It's a real shame for the Brit. He's looking like he could score some solid points. It will still be his first points in Division 1. There's still 22 minutes to go. Anything can happen. Down towards 130 yard then. Ruben seemingly back to fuel saving. Devil now started to put his foot down a bit and burn a bit more fuel. That's really not what he wants to be doing. If someone could tell him that Ruben's burning a bit more fuel, maybe Devil should be a bit more conservative. Not really put his foot down and respond, because if you then let Ruben beat you in fuel, it'll be interesting, because I don't think, looking at the way it's going, Ruben will make it to the... I honestly don't think Ruben could make it then 30 minutes on this fuel load, as he's already approaching the halfway mark in his fuel 6 minutes before he should be. So that's interesting for the South American. Tim's got that gap under 2 seconds as well today, so Tim's having a brilliant drive. Surely Tim's cracked open a beer. If he hasn't, at the end of the race, no matter how it ends up, Tim's had a solid drive. I'm sure he'll be happy to crack open a beer. Tim's always happy to crack open a beer. Speaking of people always happy to crack open a beer, the Germans running 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th and 8th. The Germans, high population here in Division 1 especially, and throughout the entire league. Ento, he leads this chase group that OTV's now latched himself onto the back of after he's had a bit of a flyer. He still has fastest lap for Brit. So we'll be taking home 5 points if it finishes this way, 4 for finishing 6th and 1 for fastest lap. The 2 bonus points for fastest lap do go to the 2 bonus points for pole go to Devil. You'd surely like to be taking home 17, even 18. So we need the fastest lap and the race win for that. Up at the front then. The gap holding itself around about the same gap. Holding itself around about the same run, but Devil pitted a lap later than Ruben, so maybe pitting a lap later could come back to be really beneficial, but there's still 20 minutes to go. Ruben approaching the halfway stage, and his fuel's going to have to really start kicking it down, and Ruben hasn't got someone like Devil to really follow him now. Because if Ruben was able to just follow Devil, that's where Ruben gets a lot of his fuel saving from, a lot of his tyre saving. Into the pits for Mr. Osaka. He's the first to break from this chase group. We see now well the undercut works, as he has red lighted it, but the people in this other group then. Ento, his fuel, very good. OTBC, his fuel, he can still go for another 5 minutes. Online Kreutzer, he's also into the pits, so the Motorsport West boys really going through their fuel quite strongly. Lee Duncan, how's he doing? Lee Duncan's into the pits. He's used both sets of tyres. Brian, he's out. So it's just OTBC and Santos left to really use both sets of tyres. Then that's all we need to really worry about. Santos, he's due a pit stop soon. He's nearly out of fuel and his tyres quite messed up, I must say, for the Portuguese driver. Running 4th in the championship, this really will open up the door. JD 3rd in the championship, he'll be happy to bridge gap, but who's actually in 5th? Let's quickly find out. Devil backing off a bit here. Devil's now getting his foot down a bit, burn a lot more fuel as Ruben now hits the halfway mark. Ruben's going to have to start really fuel saving. Maybe Ruben has to pit later on. It'll be interesting to see what they can do here. The driver's standing, so Mr. Osaka's actually in 5th. Mr. Osaka could find himself. Mr. Osaka's on 8 points. He's down in 8th currently, but he's also done one more pit stop. Santos, if he doesn't score, he needs to get 8 points to really level Santos. Santos, net position right now, he won't be scoring any points. So, Mr. Osaka will need to finish 4th to level Santos. It's possible where he's running a podium. It's possible, but Tim, he's very comfortable. Tim's had a very nice strategy. He's into the pits for his 2nd and final stop, as he's out of fuel as well. The Cannon boys, you can see they're waiting for the Nissan to park up. Here we come, number 66 van. Fresh rubber on. You don't want to full tank it here. Because of the gap, you don't want to full tank it. You can go about 3/4 of a tank here. You don't want to spend that much time in the pits full tanking it, and he comes out in a roundabout. Maybe a bit too much, some would say, but it's solid. 14 seconds off the back of JD, who I believe is going for a one-stop, who we haven't really been in the conversation with the people going for one-stops. He could find himself having a very nice day. He's got a lot of fuel there, you can see. Devil's starting to put his foot down a bit with a gap. Again, we say Devil's putting his foot down with a gap, staying around about 5 seconds, as it's not really gained. Devil maybe just being a bit patient. Maybe Devil knows that Ruben's fuel, he's not on target. I wonder what that QR code at the front of Ruben's car is for. If anyone in SVV is actually in the chat, please enlighten me. I would love to know. Down towards 130R then, Ruben. Nice and conservative. He's got to start being conservative. His tyres are amazing. Devil's tyres are holding up nicely as well. But what's Ruben planning here? Ruben's a tough nut to crack when it comes to strategy. You can't really predict what he's going to do. His first stint, he's normally very predictable. But his second stint, Devil's actually lost a lot of time through the Casio triangle. And fuel-wise, he's saving a fair bit. Ento, he's into the pits then. OTBC as well, he's into the pits. 5 seconds he's got to make up to Ento. And a big person we need to be watching out for then, Mr. Osaka, he's got himself into clean air. OTBC's got a fair bit of fuel. I think Mr. Osaka might find himself coming right off the back here. Tim, he's also someone that we need to really be looking out for, as he's coming past the pit entry now. Down pit straight then. Ento's got a lot more fuel than OTBC. He's also going to be, OTBC's also should be going on to the mediums. OTBC, what tyre does he go on to? Spending a lot of time in the pits there. He goes on to the medium, 70% in the tank, but JD, he's now got himself into 3rd, so these are the one-stoppers. JD, Devil, and Ruben. Ruben's now putting his foot down, and he's bridging the gap here between Devil and Ruben. Is Ruben going to go for another pit stop? Maybe late on and surprise everyone. 20 seconds is the gap between Devil and JD, with 14 minutes to go. Tim, he's got 12 seconds to close down. To 37 seconds in 14 minutes isn't really possible on fresh softs. He can catch JD though. Catching JD is very possible. When JD's on the medium, he's going a long way, and he's got to be conservative on the fuel. Whereas Tim on the 2-stop might be able to catch JD out. JD started 7th, I believe. Let's quickly go check. 8th, he started 8th if I can count correctly, which we know I can't really count properly, but he started 7th for 8th, and now it's running in 3rd. It'll be a brilliant drive for JD. He got a podium last week in Fuji after Santos' penalty. Really why JD is, well, JD was on 3rd anyway. But Santos falls even further. Mr. Osaka got 4th position in the end when Santos got demoted. Tim threw 1 foot down towards the Casio triangle. He seemed to like Suzuka. He had a quiet drive last time out in 5th, caused no trouble. Now he's causing a bit of trouble, Tim, but Tim may be getting old, but he's definitely not. His driving is not slowing down at all. A brilliant qualifying. I mean, I didn't notice until about 5 minutes in that the reason why he was actually losing out so much at the start, and this is why I said it's probably ideal to start on the softs, because you lose out so much being on the mediums. You lose so many positions, and Tim's starting on the mediums. I don't think it would really work. He fell down from 5th to 8th. That was a long way off the back, and he's now got himself up to 4th, and he's now trying to hunt down JD. With 12.5 minutes to go, it is possible to get 3rd here. He would love a podium. His 3rd podium in GTEL. Says his personal best first sector at the top of the hill through turn 7, Dunlop curve. Dunlop curve on the Dunlop hairpin here, apparently. The Japanese do love their Dunlops. 5.6 seconds the gap at the front as Ruben's now really putting his foot down. His fuel will not last 12 minutes. Devils, however, will. So, Ruben into the pits sometime in this stint, I believe. So if he now sticks it into 6th, I'm sure Devil will be able to catch him, and we're in for a bit of an exciting end here, which may know in true GTL fashion will probably end up going and being anticlimactic, but I'm not sure how this is really going to end. Chat, 11.5 minutes to go. Who's your pick for the win? Who do you believe will win? Ruben is in Devil's sights. There's only 5.5 seconds up the road. Fuel-wise, it's going to be very close for the both of them. Devil's more likely to make it to the end than Ruben, who Devil's now started fuel saving a bit. Devil's now started to let loose a bit more on his fuel, and it makes me really anxious for these guys. Both may have to pit, and if Devil has to pit as well, then that makes an anticlimactic end. But if Ruben has to pit and Devil comes through, I'm sure we're all rooting for Devil, because we don't want Ruben to dominate anything. We're the first time if Ruben can be dethroned. We've only ever had 2 winners in Division 1. Ruben and Devil. Hayden came very close at Spa, but never... That was a dramatic end to the Spa race, I must say, between Ruben and Hayden. But no one is yet to beat Ruben in GTL. Devil took pole from him. We thought today might be the day. There's going to be an anxious 10 minutes for all of us here. Tim as well has now got that gap under 8 seconds as he chases down JD, who's we know is one stopping. 10 minutes to go to find 8 seconds on a guy on mediums that have gone 20 minutes, and the guy that's fuel saving as well. Ento as well, don't rule him out for taking 4th here. He could actually catch up to JD. JD's only 10 seconds up the road from him. Mr. Osaka and OTBC there now started to string out a bit. It's been an eventful race. It's not been a quiet one. It's, for the most part, it's actually been quite close. The first stint we saw at Suzuka is normally quite close, so when it comes to the pit stops, with everyone running different strategies, the pack then starts to thin out a bit. But we've still had quite a close pack in the midfield in the second stint. The third stint's now been stringed out a bit more, but nonetheless it's been good. OTBC started 4th, now got himself down into 7th. He's not going to be up for that. Online Chrysler, he's gone down a position as well. Santos, he's down in 9th, and Casey so far continuing his run of losing place at start. Lee Duncan, he's a way bit off. Yeah, Lee Duncan's actually a minute and a half off Santos. He's been lapped by Casey, and Tim, he's 10 seconds behind his British comrade. When joining GTEL, there was a bit of confusion why Mamba Strike was put in the Div 2 team and why Lee was put in the Div 1 Div 1 team. No disrespect to Lee, but the comment I made to Brian, the leader of BNR, why have you put a guy with Div 1 pace in Div 2 and a Div 2 pace guy in Div 1? So is he really just trying to prioritise winning Div 2? I don't know why you'd want to win Div 2 over Div 1. You couldn't... Just seems like he's trying to get bragging rights over a lesser thing, which is typical of Brian. I know Brian's watching. Brian will admit it's a typical Brian thing. But when I made that comment, he was, well, wait till you see Lee's pace. I'm seeing Lee's pace right now, and a 2:07 last lap. Stunning me with his pace, I must say. Ruben, also stunning us though. 6 seconds now the gap. First time since the pit stops. With their only pit stop there, it's come to that. 7 minutes to go. He's got what I'd normally consider 5 minutes of fuel. Devil's got a bit more as he's now putting his foot down. And I think these guys are probably hoping this race goes a lap less than we're thinking. We've got Formula E style. We have a Formula E style race. Yesterday, if you watched the Formula E race, half the grid disqualified. And it could end up being, if they run out of fuel on the last lap, JD, an unlikely win for him. How's his fuel doing as well? JD's fuel, he's 20 seconds off the back row, so JD may actually come across the line in third. Depending on the timing, it couldn't be a close one. Where they come across the line, the gap now under 5 seconds between Tim and Devil. But because you don't all finish on the same lap, so if Ruben and Devil go across the line, they can be... It's not... No one finishes on the lead lap. Which I don't quite like about Gran Turismo. I think everyone... But when the checkered flag comes out, you take your checkered flag. You don't wait until the leader isn't the first person to take the checkered flag. So the person that can actually take the checkered flag is the first person that comes across the line when the timer runs out. So that could actually end up being JD. It could be Tim. It could be a head-to-head battle on the last lap between Tim and JD, and JD cuts the timing beam, and then it goes 0, and then Tim cuts the timing beam, and then Tim finishes, and it all looks certain that Tim will catch him and pass JD, and then it doesn't happen. 6 minutes to go, and what could be an exciting end then to this race, an unpredictable end. Through Spoon Ruben comes then, his mediums looking impeccable, I must say. His time management's so good. His fuel management so far, not the best. Devil, neither, and it's going to be a close call between these three. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if they all ran out of fuel and Tim won the race? Tim, a 1:58.9 last lap, so he's really putting his foot down compared to a 2:09 and a 2:01.1 by the two leaders. If Tim can get himself on the lead lap before everyone, it's going to be really close with timing. It'll be unfortunate if everyone runs out of fuel and then Tim gets fourth, because say if Ruben and Devil run out of fuel at turn 1 and Tim is third and then crosses the line and can't take the final lap, they'll be going, because that's Tim's race to win, but he can't win it. But anyway, 5 minutes to go. It's looking like he will be across the line to do that, so we could be in for an interesting one. It's about 2 minutes a lap here. Now, Tim firmly sees JD in his sights, and sometime this lap he may be catching the German. A 1:58.8. He's catching the guys in front as well. 2 seconds a lap quicker than them. OTBC still holds the fastest lap of the race. Tim very close to fastest lap as well, his personal best. Only 3 milliseconds off his teammate, so Can-Am on the 1 lap pace, quite quick. JD, he's going to be seeing the Canadian all up in his wing mirrors on the run up to Dunlop. So JD's now got to be very wary of the Canadian. Did this go to plan for the German? For JD, he works thoroughly through his strategy. He normally is a nicely prepared guy. He's only outdone on strategy by Ruben, and Ruben's got big facilities to do that with SVV. So a guy in his basement compared to a guy with big facilities. Down for the Dunlop hairpin then. Watch up towards Spoon. Is Tim going to be close enough? And the run up to Spoon then. Tim's going to be at lean mode 1, whilst JD is going to be doing a bit of fuel saving here. Up towards Spoon. Tim's not going to be close enough, but he gets that gap down by half a second. In one little straight, very close to the bumper there. He eyes up a move. Is he going to go for it down towards the second part of Spoon? I don't think so, but impacts his exit a bit towards 130 yard. But he definitely has the power on sooner in that Nissan. He's got the fresher tyres, softer compound, and he's running in a higher fuel mode down towards 130 yard. But side by side, he's going to be able to pull ahead. He is before 130 yard. Moves across a bit on JD. Is he going to run wide? It's a nice move. Nicely done by Tim. Tim holds on. Tim takes further. They've gone towards the Casio triangle with 3 minutes to go. JD tries to fight back. Isn't quite close enough. JD then, is he going to now just try and stick to the end here and save enough fuel? 2 laps to go. It's looking like they might do it. Ruben, he's red lighted it though. 4 minutes on red light. Devil yet to red light it. It's going to be a close one between these two. 5 seconds as the gap. My, how close this might be on the last lap then. Tim as well, 22 seconds is the gap to Devil. 27 seconds is the gap to Ruben. If these lot run out of fuel halfway around the last lap, this is Tim's to win. Ento, he's on to the back of JD as well. So JD, he's going to be happy with gaining places at the start, but Brian rage quit, which we spoke about before. If you rage quit, you're getting a penalty, and Brian wasn't doing well, so Brian chucked his toys out the pram. Two people have disliked the stream. Guess they don't like me. It's a very good exit by Ento, though, I must say, down at Dunlop. Oh, sorry, Degma 2, up towards Dunlop. Through the Dunlop hairpin, Jay's going to have no response. His tyres just don't have an answer. And he's also red lighted it, so he's under a lot of pressure now as well. Down towards 130R then. Ruben's got another lap to go. I'm sure Ruben might just make it here. Devil, he's now started to put his foot down and burn a bit more fuel. They've got to find 5 seconds, but you don't. Does Devil play the waiting game and just make sure he gets to the end on the fuel he's got and not worrying about running out of fuel? Because if you run out of fuel, you get stuck in 50 miles an hour. Final lap of the race, fan. Who's going to take it? Both of them near enough equal on fuel. Who's going to save it better? It's going to be a close one. Tim, he's now bridging a gap towards Ento and JD. It's not over yet for Tim. One mistake and he could be swallowed up by Ento, but as he starts his final lap of the race, he's 25 seconds off. He might find them. He's going to have enough fuel to the end. Ento has enough fuel to the end. JD into 5th. He may not have enough fuel to the end. JD. This is an exciting end. Oh. Ruben and Devil then. Fuel saving. Tim's got a personal best finish of 3rd. He closes down that gap a bit more towards Devil. Devil and Ruben in maximum fuel saving mode. 34 people watching. This is a record viewership for us here. Thought it might be an interesting end to the race here at Suzuka. Half a lap to go. They're running on fumes here near enough, and it's near enough a flat run. They've got to run towards Spoon, they've got to run towards 130R. They may just make it. Ruben, how's he holding on? Through Spoon he goes then. He may be safe, he may have just nailed his calculation. But nonetheless, if he runs out of fuel here, he may just be safe from... They're definitely safe from Tim now. As that fuel just ticks down, he knows the Devil's also on fumes. Down towards 130R then. Ruben will be safe. It's almost guaranteed then that Ruben will be safe. Down towards the Casio triangle for the final time. One turn to go then for the South American. Round the final turn, Ruben, after perfectly calculating his fuel, he will win round 3, still undefeated. Devil, he also holds on nicely. If he maybe pitting that extra lap did help him out there, but he did lose out big time, I must say. He lost 5 seconds in the pits, like I rightly predicted, and maybe if he pitted on the same lap as Ruben, it may have been a different ending to the race. But Tim, he comes around the final turn. He will take his 3rd ever podium in GTEL. Let's crack open a beer, Tim. Well done. Ento, in his 2nd ever race, he will take a personal best finish. And JD, he burns out with his fuel, but he will crawl across the line to 5th after starting down in 8th. OTBC and Enter. Mr. Osaka, I've just realised, very close to running out of fuel as well, and he was 2-stopping an extra 50 metres, and he would have been swallowed up by OTBC, who falls right down the order. Mr. Osaka starting 3rd, finishes 6th, and OTBC starting 4th, finishes 7th. Online Kreutzer, he will be the final finisher, final points finisher in 8th. Everyone else a lap down. Brian rage quit, indeed he did. So that was some could say an anticlimactic. I think that was quite an interesting end to the race. Ruben, he will win. Devil, he got pole, so 2 extra points for Devil for pole position. But there's confirmation of the final results then. Ruben, after a brilliantly time to perfection 1 stop there, Ruben, he will beat out Devil by 5 seconds. Devil's the closest he's come to beating Ruben this season. Next time at Maggiore, we don't know, but Was this Devil's best chance? Timbo gets his third ever podium. He has a brilliant race to come from 5th. 8th at the end of lap 1, gets a podium though. Ento with his best GTL result in 4th. SVV taking home solid points. Canon as well, they're going to be happy with the points of scoring. Down with OTBC also in 7th. And fastest lap from him as well, don't take that away from him. A 158.4. Fastest lap for OTBC. Mr. Osaka 6th. Online Croesus 8th. A few points there by the Motorsport West boys. Santos, Vasilinkot, Casey, Lee, Phil and Brian, the ones not scoring points. Brian DNFing. There'll be a penalty next race for the rage quit. But congratulations Ruben then on another win. So brilliant result. Driver of the day, Tim. Brilliant result from him. He's my personal driver of the day. Who's your driver of the day? Comment down below. I've been Ern and thank you for watching. Join me next week then, 8 PM British summertime here on the GTEL YouTube channel. Round 4 of the GTEL Division 3 Championship live from Maggiore. I'll see you then. Goodbye.